Okay, so now if you're looking for a new camera, something solid, something budget friendly, maybe you just want to start a YouTube channel or just vlog on a daily basis, well, the Sony ZV-E10 is a great choice. Well, is it really good in 2025? I've been using this camera for over 3 years now. So in this video, I'm going to share my personal experience, some good and bad, and also the accessories you should consider maybe buying to help your content a little bit better. So without further ado, let's get this video started. Now, when it comes down to build quality, I really like this camera. It's made out of plastic and some metal components in some places. And I just feel like the camera is super compact. It's nice and it fits in a bag or a pocket without any problem. On the camera itself, you do get a micro HDMI, a USB-C port, and also a headphone jack. You do have a port for external microphone, which I'm currently using at the moment. And on the top, you do have 3 different modes: a record mode, a photo mode, and also a slow-mo mode. And there are some other buttons you could press to record or change different settings on the camera, which I really enjoy. Now, I also have a flip screen, which is super great. I enjoy having this camera on a daily basis. This is what I'm actually using right now, as you can see on my lens right here, and I can actually basically zoom all the way out and zoom in. So this camera is super great. Now, this camera, you should know that it's a Aps-c sensor. Now, many people would like to go for the full frame sensor, and this camera has the Aps-c sensor because of the compact body. Now, what is the difference between Aps-c sensors and full frame sensors? Now, full frame sensors are a lot bigger. They're around 35mm, while Aps-c sensors have around 22mm, so they're a lot smaller. Now, full frame sensors lets in a lot of light. You get a good camera quality. The color range is a lot richer. Now, I'm not saying that the Aps-c sensors is bad. I'm just saying that because it's smaller, it doesn't let in as much light as the full frame sensor. But you do get a really good quality on the Aps-c sensor as well. You do get that rich color. You do get great camera quality. Now, something I really like with this camera is the autofocus. Like, the autofocus is the best Sony has ever done. It captures my face, it stays focused on my face, and even though it's dimmed sometimes in the apartment, you can actually see that it still captures the face without letting it go. Now, it also has the autofocus on pets, so you don't really need to stress when it comes down to capturing your loved pet. It could be your dog, your cat. It doesn't really matter what you actually have. So autofocus is one thing I really like with this camera. Now, another thing I really like with this camera is the fact that it has an interchangeable lens system, which allows me to use multiple lenses out there. And I'm currently using the kit lens, as you can see right now. Excuse the mess around. Now, I also have the Sony ZoomLens, which is an 18-105, which allows me to take photos from a distance, which I don't really need to go that close. So having this lens has really helped me. But it's an f4 lens, so you have to be really cautious of where you use this. But super crispy, super good lens, and I enjoy it every single time. Now, something else I really like with this camera is the flip screen. Now, the flip screen helps me in so many ways. Like, it's super ergonomical. In my case, I could flip it anytime when I'm streaming, creating videos, or just creating a vlog. As you can see, this talk head right now, like this, I really enjoy looking at myself when I'm trying to create these type of videos. So flip screen for me is something I really enjoy. Meanwhile, while the sun is coming back and me waiting for the sun to come back, I might just as well talk about something like this. Now, if you have a good Canon lens and you have the Sony ZV-E10, you could always get the adapter. This is like a mount adapter that allows you to use other type of lenses to the Sony ZV-E10. So if you have a Canon lens, for example, you could always use the Canon lens and connect this to your Sony ZV-E10. It looks something like this. So yeah, try that. Now the sun is coming back. All right, so can you guys just take 2 seconds to like and subscribe? Your subscription is going to help this channel grow, and I do have a lot of goals for this year, so just take that second to like and subscribe. Let's get back to the video. Now, battery is something else I believe most people should get out there. This camera drains battery like it's water. So you do have something around 20 minutes, 25 minutes on the battery. So it's always good to get an extra pair if you're outdoor filming and all that stuff. So battery is something you have to really think of. Now, there are a few things you should consider if you're buying this camera or if you already have this camera. Viewfinder is one of them. For me, I don't really care about viewfinder, and I do understand that most people might feel like having a viewfinder is probably the best option because they probably just want to take photos a lot. But for me, I knew what I was actually going for when I got this camera from the start. I was going to make videos only, and pictures was kind of, maybe sometimes. So viewfinder is one of those things that most people really don't like, but like the camera is super nice. It doesn't matter what photo you actually take, it's going to compensate in that way because of the AI. Now, another thing I don't really like with this camera is the overheating, and I'm currently seeing the overheating right now. And I know some people might not have this problem, but me, I get this problem sometimes. I've been using this camera now for 20 minutes and I'm currently seeing the problem. It might not actually happen when you're streaming, but when you're filming in 4K and all the power is needed, then you get the overheating symbol a lot more. And this might hinder the process of the content you want to create, and you just have to stick with that and enjoy the process as well. Sometimes you do get this wobble effect that most people complain of, and it just occurs sometimes when you move the camera a little bit fast. I've not been noticing that as much, but maybe it's just me, but nothing much to complain about. If you're considering getting this camera, you should actually know that this camera shoots in 4K 30 FPS. It doesn't really go up to 60 frames per second. Now, 60 frames per second allows you to shoot in slow-mo. You do have the slow motion mode that allows you to shoot, in slow motion. I've been using this slow motion mode a couple of times when I was out in Greece and just filming out there, and I felt like the slow motion mode was great. Now, when it comes down to the accessories that helps me enhance my camera quality, the things I would recommend changing is the mic and the lens. As you can see, I'm currently using the kit lens right here, but for the mic, I am using the HowtoinstalL Lock M2, which is a super budget-friendly mic and enjoyable, super small. It doesn't matter if I'm out there doing a vlog or I'm here speaking to you guys right now. So I enjoy this mic because it really helps me. Now, when it comes down to the lens that most people out there recommend is the Sigma 16mm 1.4. I mean, this lens is super great because it lets in a ton of light, even in dimmed areas, and it doesn't really lose focus that much. So having a Sigma 16-104 is a good lens. Now, when it comes down to my zoom lens that I normally use is the Sony 18-105, a super crispy zoom lens. I enjoy this lens when I'm taking photos of architecture, plants, doesn't matter what I'm doing. As far as I have my distance, I get a crispy shot, bouquet, super nice, and it's a f4 lens, so that is something you should actually think of when you are using this lens, but it still works in low light conditions as well. Now, should you actually go for the ZV-E10 Mark II? Well, the question is, what are you ready to pay? Because the ZV-E10 online goes for around $600 to $700 and the Mark II goes for around $1,000. Now, the only difference between the Mark II and the ZV-E10 is the 10-bit color range that the ZV-E10 Mark II actually has, while the Sony ZV-E10 has 8 bits. So that's the only big difference that I see, but the ZV-E10 really does great. Now, with that being said, does gear really matter? Well, for me, I believe that gear is just a tool that helps you elevate your content. Of course, I've actually seen people make crazy numbers with just an iPhone 6, 12, it doesn't matter what they have, and they're actually satisfied with what they do. Now, gear would matter if you are creating a high quality content for a company, for example, or your brand is making a film production, then gear would matter. But if you're just normally vlogging on a daily basis, then just stick to what you actually have, in my opinion. And this is what I have. I do have big dreams of getting the FX3, for example, but like gear doesn't really matter. Just stick to what you have and you'll be great. So with that being said, if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.